Here's some of the stories trending this week at NASA. On May 12th, Peggy Whitson and Jack Fisher conducted a spacewalk outside the International Space Station. This was the 200th spacewalk in support of station assembly and maintenance. Prior to the outing, during their pre-breathe activities in the airlock, the spacewalkers had to share Whitson's service and cooling umbilical due to an issue with the SCU connected to Fisher's suit. That device provides electricity, cooling, and communications during the pre-breathe phase of a spacewalk. Despite a late start, the pair completed the primary task of replacing an avionics box that supplies electricity and data connections to the science experiments on the orbital laboratory. It was Whitson's 9th spacewalk and the first for Fisher. Also on May 12th, NASA announced the decision of a study on the feasibility of putting crew on Exploration Mission 1, the first integrated flight of the Space Launch System rocket and Orion spacecraft. In a message, Acting Administrator Robert Lightfoot expressed appreciation for the opportunity to evaluate the possibility of a crewed flight and thanked Congress and the President for bipartisan support of the agency's efforts to send astronauts deeper into the solar system than ever before. But ultimately, the decision was made not to fly crew on the first flight after weighing the data and assessing all implications. Lightfoot noted, however, the work on this evaluation will flow into NASA's planning for the next 2 years, and the agency looks forward to using the valuable information to strengthen its posture for Exploration Mission 2, the second integrated flight of SLS and Orion, which will have astronauts aboard. During a news conference May 10th at the agency's Johnson Space Center in Houston, NASA astronauts Joe Acaba and Mark Vande Hei and Alexander Mirzurkin of the Russian space agency Roscosmos previewed their upcoming mission as part of the space station's Expedition 5354 crew. The trio is targeted to launch in September from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. They're scheduled to spend 5 months on the orbital laboratory working with about 250 research investigations and technology demonstrations not possible on Earth. NASA's acting administrator Robert Lightfoot delivered the opening plenary remarks at the Humans to Mars Summit 2017 at the George Washington University in Washington. The 3-day event addressed the technical, scientific, and policy challenges of making human exploration of Mars a reality. The summit featured other NASA officials, including Thomas Zurbuchen, NASA's Associate Administrator for Science, Steve Jurczyk, the agency's Associate Administrator for Space Technology, and William Gerstenmaier, NASA's Associate Administrator for Human Exploration and Operations. NASA's deep space exploration plans include sending humans to Mars in the 2030s. NASA's James Webb Space Telescope is at the Johnson Space Center for its last cryogenic test before launch in 2018. This critical test will last almost 100 days and be conducted in Johnson's Chamber A, the same vacuum chamber where Apollo lunar spacecraft were tested. The evaluation will verify the performance of the whole telescope at the extremely cold operating temperatures Webb is expected to experience at its final frigid destination, about 1 million miles out in space. NASA helped ring in the Martian New Year in Mars, Pennsylvania. Citizens of the town, just north of Pittsburgh, invited the agency to help celebrate Mars New Year, which happens about every 2 Earth years. The activities held May 4th through 6th included 2 days of science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, or STEAM activities, to encourage young people to pursue careers in these fields of study, which are critical to NASA's Mars exploration plans. And that's what's up this week at NASA. For more on these and other stories, follow us on social media and visit www.nasa.gov/twan.